Okay, so here we are in Adobe After Effects. Let's create a new composition and we are going to call it as main animation as always we do. Width is 1920, height is 180, frame rate we are going to choose 30 seconds and duration I'm going to choose somewhere around 2 minutes long, not 2 seconds. Or let's do one thing, we'll make this 1 minute long only. And background color we are going to choose black color and simply hit OK and then hit OK. Then go to choose grid and guide option and hit on title selection. Now again I'm going to press Ctrl N and I'm going to call it as wheel, and width over here I'm going to choose 1080 and height also 1080 and simply hit OK. Then we are going to select our ellipse tool, and for the fill I'm going to choose black color, and for the stroke I'm going to choose white color. Or let's delete this fill for now, we will add fill later. And stroke width I'm going to choose 20 pixels. Then simply double click on this ellipse, so it will automatically create one ellipse. And as you guys can see, the stroke width is little bit low, so let's make this somewhere around 50. I think this much looks good. Then press S for scaling option and let's scale the size a little bit lower. After that I'm going to select my pen tool, and from here to here by holding shift I'll create one stroke, and stroke width let's choose around 10 pixels. Okay, or let's select this, or let's make this 25, not too much. Okay, now let's select this. Then we'll go to the add menu and we are going to choose repeater, and go to the repeater and transform repeater 1. But before doing that, you need to understand the anchor point of this portion should be at the bottom, then only it is going to work. Then let's make this position, right now it is 100, so let's make this 0, and I need number of copies to 20, and I want this 20 copies equally distributed in this circle. So over here in rotation I'm going to type 360 divided by 20 and hit enter. So now as you guys can see, we will automatically get those wheels lines. After that I don't want anything at the center. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select my ellipse, and this time I'm going to choose black color for this fill, and I'll delete the stroke. And by holding shift I'm going to create one ellipse. Let's select this and press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. Go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically. Now select this ellipse and hit Ctrl D to duplicate it. Press S and let's decrease the scale, and this time let's go to the fill option and let's choose grayish color over here. Then this looks good to me. Now after that simply right click new and create one null object. Select all of these layers by holding shift and make it a parent with this null. Then select this null, press R for rotation, create one keyframe. Then I'm gonna go somewhere around 8 second over here, properly 8 second, and I'm going to make this rotation 4 and hit N over here. So if you see this now, we will get this kind of rotation. Then alt click on the stopwatch and type loop out expression over there. Okay, so this is our wheel. Now let's hit Ctrl N to create another composition, and this is going to be our text strip. So let's type text strip, and width over here I'm going to choose 1920 and height I'm going to choose 200 and hit OK. Then press Ctrl Y to create one solid background, and we are going to choose white color over here, and let's lock this layer. Then I'm going to select my text tool, and you can type whatever font you want. I'm going to choose Babes. Then you can type whatever text over here. I'm going to type motion graphics, and I'm going to copy this text, hit spacebar like this. Then select this layer and press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. Go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically. Press S and let's increase the size of this so here like this. Okay. Now as you guys can see, the size is little bit bigger. So press Ctrl K and let's make this height somewhere around 100. So it will get something like this. Okay. So and now we need to make this animation in the form of loop. So let's select this and hit Ctrl D to duplicate it. Select this first layer and press P for position to create one keyframe. Then go to somewhere around 8 seconds. Select your selection tool, and by holding shift I'm going to move this text outside this composition. Okay, and select this second text and make it a parent with this first one. Okay, so you will get this kind of animation. Now alt click on the stopwatch and let's type loop out expression over there like this. Okay, so what will happen that after 8 seconds we will get this kind of looping animation. Okay, so our main portion is ready. Now wheel and text strip is ready. So let's go to the main animation. First thing first, I'm going to bring my wheel over here. As you guys can see, the size is too much. So press S and let's decrease the size over here. And let's try to bring this wheel properly over here in such a way that the edge of this wheel should touch properly edge of this composition like this. If you see, the edge is properly touching the end of this composition like this. Okay. Similarly, select this wheel, hit Ctrl D, and let's try to bring this a little bit over here. Again, hit Ctrl D. Let's try to bring this over here. Hit Ctrl D, and let's try to bring this over here in such a way that it should properly touch the edge of this composition as well. Okay, so these things are ready. So this is going to be the first wheels. Now, after that, right click new and create one null object, and let's select all of this and make it a parent with this null. Then select this null and press P for position to create one keyframe. Let's go somewhere around 8 seconds over here, and by holding shift I'm going to move this out of somewhere around like this. Okay, over here. As you guys can see, these things are now out of the composition like this. Okay, this looks good to me. Now I'm going to select these wheels, and by hitting Ctrl D, I'm going to create duplicate of this, and I'll bring them at the top. And from here, I'm going to change the color to red, and also I'm going to disable this parenting like this. So we will get these wheels over here as well. Then we will go to around 8 seconds over here. I'm going to select all of this, and at this point I'm going to make it a parent with this null 2. So now if you see, we are getting something like this. Now if I go to 8 seconds and if I hit N over here, and if I try to play from here, as you guys can see, we are going to get this animation continuously like in the form of loop. Now let's select all of these wheels, and let's change the color of this one to red only, so it would be easy to understand like that. Now let's lock this layers because our this stuff is ready. Now we need to focus on our text strip. So let's bring our text strip first. We will bring this over here. Now it is too long, so press S to scale it, and let's try to bring this over here like that. And let's disable this snapping just for now. And let's bring this over here. Press Y for pen behind tool, and let's try to bring this over here. Then hit W for rotation tool, and let's try to rotate it like this. Now the size is too much, so let's try to adjust the size like this. Now hit Ctrl D to duplicate it. Press Y for pen behind tool and bring this over here by holding Ctrl. Hit W and let's try to rotate it like this. Press S and let's decrease the size a little bit like this. So if you see, we are getting something like this. Okay. And over here, if you see, this is happening in a opposite direction. So we need to select this, press R for rotation, and we should rotate it like this. But before that, we need to select this and press Ctrl Alt Home to align the anchor point to properly at the center. And then we need to rotate it like this. Okay, over here. Okay, this looks good to me. Then select this text strip and hit Ctrl D. Let's bring this over here like this. Hit W and let's rotate it like this. Press S and let's adjust the size somewhere around like this. Okay, over here. Then let's bring this at the top. Then again hit Ctrl D to duplicate it. Then go somewhere around in the middle over here at this point. But before that, go over here, select all of these text strips, and let's make it apparent with this null. Okay, like this. Then we will select this text strip over here, which is extra one. We need to bring this over here like that, just for now over here. Let's select this, hit W and let's rotate it in such a way that it should touch this one. Then press R for rotation and let's rotate it like, S for scaling option, and let's scale it like this. So if you see this now, we will get this kind of stuff over here. But at the end over here, if you see, we are not going to get this in the form of loop because we need to create duplicates of it. So let's hit U, select all of these text strips, and again we need to follow the same procedure. Hit Control D and let's duplicate at the top and change the color of this one to pink, let's say, just for our understanding. And let's make this none, and let's go to somewhere around over here at this point, okay, at the end. And now we will make it apparent with this null, okay, over here like this. Okay, so if you see this now, we are getting something like this over here, like this. Now there is one error over here. If you see at this point, because we don't have this line particularly, if you see at the end 8 seconds we don't have this strip at the start. So what we can do, we will go to 8 second. I'm going to select this strip only and I'll hit Control D and I'll try to bring this at the top, and let's delete the parenting and let's go to the start, and this time I'm going to make it apparent with this null. So now if you see, all of them are going to be properly in a loopable format over here. So let's bring this over here properly like this. Okay, so if you see this now, we are gonna get this animation continuously in the form of loop. Now we just need to check it out whether they are properly arranged or not. At the start, it's over here. Let's select this null object, hit U, go to the end, and at this point I think we need to bring this over here, okay, this looks good to me. Okay, so now sometime what happens is that when we do looping animations, we'll get some errors. For example, over here we are getting one error. If you see this properly, we are getting this jitter effect over here. So to fix that, what we can do, I'm going to press Ctrl R over here and I'll go at the start and I'm going to try to create our grid line. So let's bring this line over here like this, and as you guys can see, this portion is touching this portion. Okay, so let's go to the fit and let's go to the end point over here, and over here if you see, it's not touching because all of them are crossing these lines. So let's select uppermost this strips over here including this one. Okay, we need to select that like this, and make sure that we are not selecting anything from here. If we are, let's deselect this and zoom in, and simply with the help of arrow keys try to move this over here like that. Okay, so now if you make this fit, and let's see, we are getting this in a proper loopable format. Okay, now if you see this, we are getting this kind of animation in a form of loop. Now we need to select this text strips and we need to bring them after the wheels. Okay, because we don't want these wheels to showcase over here. So if you see, we are getting this kind of loopable animation. Now let's minimize all of this. I mean not minimize, I mean unlock all of this. Now over here, I'm going to select this text strip. I'll go to the effect and presets panel, and let's apply some effect. I'm going to apply tint effect over here, and let's double click to apply, and instead of white color I want this neon greenish color over here. Then copy this tint effect and hit Ctrl C. I'll select this layer, I'll hit Ctrl V and I'll swap this color like this. I'll select this and I'll hit Ctrl V. I'll select this and I'll swap this color over here like this. Then I'm selecting this, hit Ctrl V. I'll select this and I'll Ctrl V and I'll swap this color. I'll select this and I'll hit Ctrl V. Then again I'm going to select this last one, which is this one, hit Ctrl V and swap this color. So now if you see, we are getting this kind of colors over here. Now if you want, you can go inside this wheel over here and you can copy this greenish color code, hit Ctrl C to copy. You can go to the wheels, you can select this one and hit Ctrl V over here to apply this color over here like this. Okay, and you can go over here, you can select this backstroke, hit Ctrl D to duplicate it, go over here and hit Ctrl V, and let's decrease the size of this one, and you can select those layers and bring them downwards. So we will get something like this. Or you can select this one portion over here which is in green color. We don't need this color over here, we can choose black color over here instead. So we are getting this kind of proper shape animations over here. Okay, like that. Now I'm going to press Ctrl Y and I'll choose some grayish color background over here, and let's try to bring this at the bottom over here. And if you see, we are getting this kind of animation over here, like that. You can go to the effect and presets panel and search for CC vintage effect. Okay, so we will get this kind of effect. And I think this looks cool with the white, I mean black background as well. Or you, instead of the white color, you can select this layer and press Ctrl Shift Y, and instead of this you can choose a little bit of grayish color over here, like this, and then you can apply CNC vintage effect, and you can increase the angle of view as well as this amount. Okay, so now if you see, we are gonna get this animation continuously in the form of loop. Then final thing we need to do is that instead of this black background, I mean grayish background, select all the remaining layers and press Ctrl Shift C to pre-compose, and let's call it as animation and hit OK. And let's click on this icon, and now press R for rotation, create one keyframe, go to around 8 seconds, and let's make this one complete rotation. Okay, like that. So if you see this now, we are gonna get this kind of animation over here, like that. But if you see this animation, this looks very fast. So what we can do, let's go inside this and let's delete this rotation keyframe for now. Let's go inside this animation, zoom in a little bit, and at 8 seconds I'm going to right click and choose trim comp to work area. Then in main animation, I'll go at the end of this animation by hitting O, then right click time and choose time enable remapping. And before last keyframe, I'll create one keyframe and I'll delete this last keyframe. Then I'll alt click on this stopwatch to apply loop out expression over here, like this. And let's deselect this layer. Okay, so now 8 plus 8 is 16. Even at 16 seconds over here, if I hit N, if I hit N, I'm gonna get this animation in the form of loop. So select this animation, press R for rotation, create one keyframe, and at 16 seconds, I'm going to make this one complete rotation. So now along with this animation, what is going to happen is that we will get this animation of rotating as well, eh, like this. And the fun part is that even after all of this animation is going to be in the form of loop. Okay, so this is how you can create this kind of interesting animation inside of After Effects. So here we are in Adobe After Effects. So let's create a new composition and we are going to call it as main animation. Width, I'm going to choose 1920, height 180, frame rate 59.94, duration you can choose whatever duration you want, and background color I'm going to choose white color and simply hit OK. Then we'll go to choose grid and guide option and simply hit on title selection. Now I'm going to create another composition by hitting Ctrl N, and I'm going to call it as grid and simply hit OK. Then press Ctrl Y to create one background layer and choose black color for it. Then I'm going to select my pen tool. Then let's deselect this layer, and from here to here I'm going to create one stroke, and stroke width I'm going to choose 0.5, and let's make the stroke color white. Then select the stroke, press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. Go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically first. Then you can click on this align left. Then we'll go inside this, go to the contents, add, and we will choose repeater. Go to the repeater and go to the transform repeater 1, and we will decrease the size a little bit, somewhere around like this, and we will increase the number of copies somewhere around over here. Now let's select the shape layer and hit Ctrl D to duplicate it. Press R for rotation and let's rotate it on 90°. Then go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically, or align it at the top. Then press S for scaling option, unlink this, and we will increase the scale on this axis. And let's hit U to minimize this, so we will get this grid. Okay, now let's go to the main animation and press Ctrl Y to create one solid background, and we are going to choose white solid background and we will lock this layer. Then I'm going to select my ellipse tool, and we will choose fill, black color for this fill, and let's delete this stroke. And by holding shift, I'm going to create one ellipse. Now let's select this ellipse and press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. Then go to the align tab, align it horizontally, and then align it vertically. Now let's select this shape layer and press P for position, and let's create one keyframe. Then go somewhere around 1 second and create another keyframe like this. Now let's select the shape layer and let's try to bring this upward like this. Then I'm going to select this layer and I'll hit Ctrl D to duplicate it and hit U. Then go to the start and we will delete those keyframe. We will create another keyframe. Then we'll go to 1 second again and we will create another keyframe over here. And at the start, I'm going to bring this downwards. So if I see this now, I'm gonna get this kind of animation. Now let's select those keyframe and let's bring this over here around this point. Now let's select this second layer, press S. Initially let's make this 0 and create one keyframe. Then go to 1 second and let's make this 100. Now hit U so you can see all the keyframes. Then select those keyframe and we will hit F9. Then go to the graph editor, select this graph. By holding shift, move one handle over here and move one handle over here. So if you see, we will get this and then we will get this. Now let's select this much keyframes and let's try to bring this up to this. So if you see, first we'll get this and this. Then somewhere around at this point, I'm going to select this layer and I'll press S for scaling option and let's create one keyframe. Then go somewhere around over here and let's decrease the size of this. Then select those keyframe and let's hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph. By holding shift, move one handle over here and move one handle over here like this. So if you see, first we will get this and then we will get this. Now after that, I'm going to select this layer and I'll hit Ctrl D to duplicate again and hit U so you can reveal those keyframes. Select this, hit U, and let's make this scale 0 initially. Okay, like this. Now let's select this and change the color of this layer to red so it will act like a mask over here. Okay, like this. Okay, then we will bring our grid layer over here like that, and let's choose alpha mask. Okay, so if you see this animation now, first we will get this and then we will get this. Now after this, what we need to do over here is that we need to create certain animations. So let's try to do it. I'm going to select my ellipse and let's choose white color, and by holding shift, let's create one keyframe. Let us select this and press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. Go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically like that. Now let's select all of this lower layer like this 4 layers. Press Ctrl Shift C and we will call it as start. Okay, and we will hide this. Similarly, we will hide this white background as well. And now I'm going to press Ctrl K to open the project settings, and I'm going to choose black color for this just for our reference. Okay, now we have the shape layer. Let's hit Ctrl D to duplicate it and change the color of this one to black, and press S for scaling option and let's scale it. Okay, so now I have created this another shape. Let's decrease the size a little bit. I think 60 would be good. Now over here we will create our second part of our animation. So let's select these 2 layers and press S and initially create one keyframe. Then go around 20 frame and let's create another keyframe. Now let's go to the start and let's make this value 0 as well as this value 0. Select those keyframe and let's hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph. By holding shift, move this handle over here like this. Now I'm going to take a distance of 10 frames over here. So select this and move this over here. So we will get something like this. If you want, you can make this animation a little bit longer. Let's try to bring this over here. Okay, so we will get something like this. Around 1 second, I want to create multiple object out of this. So let's select this and press Ctrl Shift C to pre-compose, and I'm going to call it as circle. Okay, like this. Now press F4 and make sure to enable this icon. Now I'm going to select my rectangle tool, and I don't want any fill over here, so I'll delete this fill. And for the stroke, I'm going to choose white color, and stroke width, let's choose 1 pixels. And by holding shift, I'm going to create this kind of rectangle. Let's select this and press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. Go to the align tab, align it horizontally, and then align it vertically. Now let's make this 2 pixels like this. Now if you see, first we will get this animation, then I'll go to around 1 second, select this, press P for position, create one keyframe, then zoom out a little bit. Let's go somewhere around over here, press V, and by holding shift, or don't hold shift, simply bring this over here. Make sure to enable this snapping so you can properly snap over here. After that, select this, hit Ctrl D, then let's move this over here like that. Then select this layer, hit Ctrl D. Let's try to bring this over here like properly. Try to move this over here like this. Hit Ctrl D, and let's try to bring this over here like this. Okay, hit U so you can see those keyframe. If you make this fit, we can get something like this. Select those keyframe and let's hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph. By holding shift, move this handle over here, and let's move this handle over here like this. So if you see, we'll get this, and then we'll get this. Okay, like that. Now after that, what we need to do over here is let's do one thing. Select those keyframe and let's hit F9 again. Okay, and let's go over here, select this graph. By holding shift, move one handle over here and move one handle over here. And now what we need to do over here is we need to select this keyframe, and we will bring this a little bit forward like this. Also basically we are arranging in such a way that there should be some gap in the animation. So if you see, we'll get this, and then we'll get this, and then somewhere around from this point over here, I want this thing should start to get animated. So let's select this, let's move this over here, go over here inside this contents, add, and let's choose trim path. Then go to the trim path and let's make this end value 0, create one keyframe, then go somewhere around at 3 seconds and let's make this value 100. So now we will get this trim path animation. Then select that trim path animation and let's hit F9. Then go to the graph editor, select this graph. By holding shift, move one handle over here and move one handle over here. So if you see, we will get something like this. Now let's select this layer and let's bring this downwards, and let's make this stroke width 5 pixels. So if you see this now, first we will get this, and then we will get this. Okay, now after that, what we are going to do over here is that we will right click new and create one null object. I'm going to select all of this and I'll make it a parent with this null. Then select this null, press R for rotation, create one keyframe, go to around 5 seconds, and let's make this 180-degree rotation like this. Select those keyframe and let's hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph. By holding shift, move one handle over here and let's move one handle over here like this. So if you see, we will get something like this. Okay, so if you see, we will get this kind of animation over here. Now let's select this shape layer and up to select the 6th layer up to this first null object. By holding shift, we will select all of these layers and press Ctrl Shift C, and we will call it as let's say scene 2 or something like that. Okay, now let's go somewhere around at this point when this is going to get completed. Let's select this and hit Ctrl D to duplicate it, press R, and let's make this value 45, or let's make this value 30 or something, or let's make this 20. Select this, hit Ctrl D, press R, let's make this 40. Select this, hit Ctrl D, press R, let's make this 60. Again select this, hit Ctrl D, press R, and let's make this 90. Okay, or let's make this 60 plus 20 again like this, or let's try to bring this somewhere around over here. Let's select this and press R. or I think we need to add 15 over here. So let's try to do it. Let's make this 45. Let's delete this, hit Ctrl D, press R. Let's go over here, add plus 15, hit Ctrl D, press R. Let's go over here, add plus 15. Okay, so this must looks good to me. So if you see this now, we will get this animation and we are getting something like this. Now we need this animation one by one. So I'm going to take a distance of 10 frames for this. After 10 frames, I want this animation should get started, then this, then this, then this, and then this. Okay, so if you see, we are getting this kind of animation over here, but it's happening in opposite direction. So let's go over here and bring this over here, and we will start to adjust it from this point. Okay, like this. So let's take a distance of 10 frames like this. So if you see, we'll get something like this, and we will get this kind of rotation. Okay, now let enable our start option over here. Let's enable this start first. Okay, and enable this white background as well. So if you see, first we will get this, then this, and then let's enable all of this our layers, and let's try to bring this animation should start somewhere around at this point. Okay, like this. Now let's select all of this scene 2 and press Ctrl Shift C, and let's call it as collection of scene 02. Hit OK, hold Alt, open square bracket to trim up to this. Okay, like this. Now let's select this and hit Ctrl D, press S. Let's decrease the size of this. Select this, hit Ctrl D, select this third layer, press S, and let's increase the size of this. Let's enable this icons for each and every one. So as you guys can see, we are getting this kind of pattern. And over here as well, if you go, you can take a distance of few frames between this animation over here, and let's go over here and bring this animation over here like that. Okay, like this. So you will get this animation over here. Now what we can do over here, we need to split this animation. So let's select all of these layers and press Ctrl Shift C to pre-compose, and we will call it as animation over here. Now after when this animation is going to reach about this point, press Ctrl Shift D at this point to split these layers. Then I'm going to select this rectangle tool, zoom out a little bit, and let's create one mask like this over here, like this. Then let's make this fit, press V. Let's select this portion, let's move this over here. Then select this animation, hit Ctrl D, press M, invert this layer. Then select this two, press P for position, create one keyframe, and then go somewhere around at 8. Select this, and let's try to bring this downwards over here like this. Select this, and let's try to bring upward over here, and make sure to enable this white colored background. Then select those keyframe, hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph. By holding shift, move one handle over here and move one handle over here, and let's hit N. So if I play this animation, I'm gonna get this kind of animation stuff over here like this, and this animation is going to be in the form of loop as well. If you see, if I play this animation, I'll get this animation first, then this, and then I'm gonna get this animation in the form of loop. Now over here, one thing you can do just to make it consistent and look like it's kind of a growing animation, I'm going to select this. Let's go to the new, create one null object. Select all of these layers by holding shift and make it apparent with this null object. Then go to the start, select this null, press S, create one keyframe, then go to the end value and let's make this value 150 or something. Okay, so what will happen that whenever this animation is gonna get growing, we will get a kind of a feel that it's growing like this. Okay, like that. So then go inside this animation over here, then go inside this collection as well, like this. Simply right click new and create one null object over here. Select all of these layers and make it apparent with this null. You can select this null, press R for rotation, alt click on this stopwatch and type time star 20. So we will get kind of a looping animation over there. Okay, like a rotating looping animation. So if you see this now, we'll get this, then we'll get this. Okay, then let's go over here, go to the animation, collection of animation, select this first layer, go to the effect and presets panel over here, or let's do one thing, we'll go inside this layer, not on this layer. Okay, it will take a little bit time to load this effect and presets panel. Let's go inside this, select these layers over here like this, go to the effect and presets panel and search for drop shadow effect and double click to apply, and let's increase the softness to 100, distance to 10 and opacity to 75. Then select this drop shadow and hit Ctrl C, select all the other layers and hit Ctrl V. Okay, and in main animation over here you will get that drop shadow effect as well. Okay, so yep, this is how you can create this kind of looping animation. Let's make this quad resolution, so you will get something like this over here, and this animation is going to be continuously in the form of loop. And another thing over here, you can add an adjustment layer over here like this. You can make full resolution. You can go to the effect and presets panel and search for tint effect to apply, and you can swap this color anytime you want. Instead of this you can choose this color, and instead of this you can choose this color, and you can swap these colors as well, like choose whatever color you want. I like this one as well, and you will get your appropriate results like this. So okay, so this is how you can create one abstract animation inside of After Effects. So here we are in Adobe Illustrator. Now I have already created one blank document. The size of this document is 1920 by 180, and I got this illustration from freepic.com. The link is available in the description. And out of all this, because we are going to create lace logo reveal, so I'll choose this ones. So I'm going to simply select on this one and I'll hit Ctrl C to copy. I'll go to this main document and I'm going to press Ctrl V, and by holding shift I'm going to increase the size of this. Okay, now after that I'm going to select this, right click and choose ungroup. So then again select this, right click and choose ungroup, and we are going to delete this shadow. Same for this one, we will remove these shadows. Simply right click, ungroup, select these shadows and hit delete. So we have this portion separated and this one is on the separate layer. So now let's select this one and I'll hit Ctrl X to cut it out. I'll create a new layer and I'm going to press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place. Okay, and now we have these two on separate layer. So let's save this file like that. Now I already created this lace logo over here. Also you can easily get this from the internet, and otherwise I'll provide the link in the description as well, and you can find this files on Patreon as well, so you can download it from there. Okay, so now we'll go to the Adobe After Effects and let's create a new composition, and I'm going to call this as main animation, just like I always do. Width we are going to choose 1920 and height we are going to choose 1080. Frame rate is 30, but if you want your animation smooth you can choose 60 frame as well. And duration I'm going to choose 1 minute long, and background color should be white color, and simply hit OK and hit OK. Then we'll go to choose grid and line option and simply hit on title shape action. Then I'm going to press Ctrl Y to create one solid background, and I'm going to call it as BG and simply hit OK. Now hit Control I to import your logo file. So I'll import my PNG file of that logo. Simply hit import. Then I'm going to hit Control I and I'm going to import my Illustrator file as well. And most importantly, import footage composition layer sizes and simply hit import. Okay. So this file contains this chip. So I'll hit Control K to open the project window, not project window, but composition settings. And I'm going to rename it as add chips. Okay, like that. Now let's try to do animation for this chips first. So let's select this and let's hide this for now. I'm going to select this and I'll try to bring this at the center. I'll hit W and I'll try to rotate it like that. Then let's select this and hit Ctrl D to duplicate it. Press V. Let's try to bring this over here. Hit W for rotation tool and rotate it like that. Press S and let's scale this size. Then again I'm going to hit Ctrl D. I'll try to bring this over here. I'll rotate it again. I'll try to adjust the size differently. Again I'll hit Ctrl D, W, rotate and try to adjust the size over here. Okay. Then I'm going to enable this chip as well. Try to bend this over here, rotate it, hit Ctrl D, adjust the size, hit Ctrl D, adjust the size, hit Ctrl D, adjust the size like that. Okay, sorry. Try to adjust the different sizes. Again, I'll select this, hit Ctrl D. Let's bring this over here and try to adjust the size. And don't forget to save this file. And let's select this again. Let's rotate it. Hit Ctrl D, move this over here. Hit Ctrl D, move this over here. Rotate it. Basically, we need to create this randomly like that. Okay, I think we need one over here as well. One over here as well. And one over here as well. Okay. So now we have already created our different collection of chips. So let's save this like that. Now let's go to the animation. We have already created one background. So let's lock this over here. Now I'm going to press Ctrl Y to create one solid background. And I'm going to choose black color over here. Hit OK and hit OK. Then I'm going to press G for pen tool. And I don't want any fill. So I'll delete this fill. And for the stroke, I'm going to choose white color and simply hit OK. Then from here to here, I'm going to create this kind of stroke, and stroke width, I'm going to choose 1 pixels. Okay, and let's make this fit. Let's select this stroke and let's choose full resolution. Let's select the shape layer and press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. Then go to the Align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically. Then we will try to go to the contents and we will choose this option known as zigzag or wiggle path as well. It's totally up to you. Let's go to the wiggle path. Let's increase the size of this, and corners I'm going to choose smooth. And if you hit play, we will get this kind of animation. So let's try to increase the stroke to 3 and let's see what kind of thing we'll get. We'll get something like that animation. Now let's minimize this wiggle path. Let's go to the add again and we are going to choose a repeater. Go to the repeater, go to the transform repeater 1. Let's decrease the position somewhere around over here. Okay, like that. Then we will select this and we will go to the align left and let's increase the number of copies totally like that. Then press P for position and try to bring this over here like that. Create one keyframe. Zoom in. Let's go to around 8 seconds. Try to bring this from here to here. Okay, so what will happen that we are gonna get this kind of a little bit shaky animation over there. Then after this, I'm going to select this layer, go to the effect and presets panel, search for turbulence displace effect and double click to apply. So we will get that displacement effect over here. Then alt click on this evolution tab and search for time star 30. Okay, so along with that we will get the evolution animation as well. Okay, now after this what we need to do is we will right click new and create one adjustment layer. Then we'll go to the effect and presets panel and we are going to search for tint effect and double click to apply. Now in tint effect I'm gonna go in black color and I'm going to choose red color for now. Then I'll go to around 20 frames. I'll select this and I'm going to press Ctrl Shift D to split this layer. Then go over here, choose different color like that. Again, take a gap of 20 frames. I'm going to press Ctrl Shift D to split this layer. Go and choose different color like this. Hit OK. Go to 2 seconds. Press Ctrl Shift D to split this layer. Go over here, change different color like that, and go to 20 frames and press Ctrl Shift D to split this layer, and let's delete this. Okay. Now select all of these layers and press Ctrl Shift C to pre-compose, and I'm going to call it as BG animation and hit OK. Then go inside this. Let's go to the last frame over here and hit N. Then in work area, right click and choose trim form to work area. Go to the main animation, hit O so you can go at the end of this composition. Right click, time, and choose time enable remapping. Then before this last keyframe, create one keyframe and we will delete this last keyframe. We don't need that. Okay. Then alt click on this stopwatch and we are going to search for the lookout expression over there like that. Okay. Now let's select this and don't forget to save this file. Okay, so now if you check it out this animation, we are going to get this animation continuously. Okay, let's hit U to minimize all of this. Now after that, I'm going to select my ellipse tool, and this time I want fill and I don't want any stroke, so I'll delete this, and by holding shift I'm going to create one ellipse. Then select this ellipse, hit enter, and let's call it as mask and press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. Then go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically. Press S for scaling option, and initially let's make the scale 0 and choose alpha mask to this background animation. Then create one keyframe at scale, go to around 1 second and let's increase this value. Then select those keyframe and let's hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph, by holding shift move this handle over here. So we will get this kind of animation over there. Okay. Now I have created this arrow over here. Basically, I got this one from freepik.com. I'll provide the link in the description so you can download it from there. We will import this arrow in After Effects. So let's go to the After Effects and I'm going to hit Ctrl I, and I have named that Illustrator file arrow. I'm going to simply go to the footage, composition rate and their sizes, and simply hit import. Then I'm going to bring this arrow over here, or instead of that, we'll double click to open this. I'll select this layer, I'll hit Ctrl C to copy, I'll go to the main animation and I'll hit Ctrl V. I'll hit enter and I'm going to call it as arrow. Then press S for scaling option and let's try to decrease the scale of this arrow like that. So let's make this proper 50. Then press P for position and press F4 as well to enable this icon. Now this arrow should come at the center somewhere around at this point. But before that, we will go to the chips options and we have this chip over here which is at the center. So hit Ctrl C to copy, go to the main animation and hit Ctrl V. So it should be placed over here. Hit enter and let's forward it as chip. Okay, like that. Select these two layers and change the color of them to yellow, so it would be easy for us to differentiate between them. Okay, so now let's hide this chip for now. Let's focus on this arrow. So press P for position to create one keyframe. I'll go to around 1 second to create another keyframe. Okay, and at this point over here, let's enable this chip. Let's try to bring this downward. And now we need to create one square around this chip. So for that, I'm going to select my rectangle tool and I don't want any fill. So let's delete this fill. And for the stroke, I'm going to choose white color and let's create one rectangle around this chip over here. Then select this and press Ctrl Alt Home. Go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically, and select this chip and try to bring this in between this. Then select this and let's increase the stroke of this to somewhere around 5. Okay. Now after this, what we need to do, there should be some box at the corners. So for that, I'm going to select this rectangle tool again and choose white color, and let's remove this stroke, zoom in, and let's create one rectangle, not rectangle but square. Let's select this and press Ctrl Alt Home. Let's try to move this over here. Now let's select this and hit Ctrl D to duplicate it and try to bring this over here. Then again select this and hit Ctrl D to duplicate it, and and let's try to bring this over here. But obviously this will create more layers. So instead of that, there is a trick that you can use. Let's delete all of this. I'm going to select this shape layer. I'll go to the add, and over here as well I'm going to choose repeater and go to the repeater, and let's choose copy to only. Then go to the transform repeater and let's add just the position, so it should go somewhere over here like that. Then minimize this repeater one, select this repeater and hit Ctrl D in repeater 2 only. Go to the repeater 2, transform repeater, reduce this position to 0 and increase this position over here, so it should go over here. Okay, and if you want in middle as well, you can do that as well, but for this I want up to this only. So let's minimize this, select this and make it apparent with this box, which is this one. So let's make it apparent with this one. Okay, like that. Then I'm gonna go in rectangle 1, rectangle path, or you export to the stroke and click on this dashes. Okay, so you'll get this kind of a dash. Okay, so let's make this fit. Okay, let's make this fit, and don't forget to save this file. Now we can try to animate. So let's select this arrow I have already created at the start, and let's try to bring this totally downwards. And around 1 second, I'm going to move this at this point. Okay, then let's select this, all of this, and try to bring them downward like that. So select this position. Let's select hide all of this extra stuff. Select this arrow, select those position keyframes and hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph by holding shift, move this handle over here. So if you see this animation now, we will get something like that. And it should start somewhere around at 10 frames. So let's select this arrow and move this over here. Okay, like that. Then it will take a gap of few frames like that. So you see we have this, and this animation should be a little bit faster. So let's move this over here. Okay, like that. Then after a few gap, I'll create one keyframe. Let's enable all of this. Then go to around 2 seconds. Let's select this and try to move this up to this. Okay, like that. Select those keyframe and let's hit F9. Then select these two layers, and with the help of open square bracket, move this over here. Select this box, press Y for pen behind tool, and let's try to bring this anchor point at this point. Press S. Initially scale should be 0, so create one keyframe. At this point, let's make this value 100. Okay. Also select those keyframe and hit F9. So if you check it out this, it will look like that it's creating a box like structure. Okay. So if you see, we are getting this kind of structure. Now, let's go inside this BG animation over here. Let's zoom out. Let's select this stroke and select your selection tool and stroke width. Let's choose 1 pixels because it's really hard to see our animation. If I check it out over here like that. Okay. Similarly, at this point in BG animation, because of this color, it's very hard to see that stroke. So I'm gonna go over here, and instead of this kind of a green, I'll choose something a little bit darker, so my stroke should be visible like that. Okay. Now let's select those keyframe of arrow and this stroke. Go to the graph editor, select this graph. By holding shift, move this handle over here and move this handle over here. Okay, so if we check it out this, we'll get something like that. Okay, then I'm going to select my chip over here, which is this one. Again, with the help of open square bracket, I'm going to move this over here. Then go to the last frame, and I'm going to select this chip and I'll make it apparent with my third layer as well. So now it will look like that this is creating this chip. Okay, like that. Then after taking a few gap, I want this one should be gone. So with the help of open sphere, alt close square bracket, I trim up to this. Okay. Then I'll select this chip over here like this, and let's try to increase the size a little bit like that. Then somewhere around at this point, when this entire stuff is gone, I'll create one keyframe over here. I'll go to 3 seconds and I'll try to decrease the scale of the chip. Select this, hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph by holding shift, move this handle over here and move this handle over here. Okay, like that. So we will get something like that. It looks like a falling. So let's try to bring this a little bit closer. Okay, because it should be a little bit quick. Okay, like that. Now after this, when this is creating this, I'm going to select this arrow over here and I'm going to press Ctrl Shift D, split this layer and hit U, and I'm going to remove this keyframes. We don't need that. Okay, so now this is complete a new arrow. Now what we need to do is that we need to create a path for this so it can animate along with this path. So for that I'm going to press G, and from here to here I create one path. Then from here to here, first of all let's remove this fill. Okay, like that. And then somewhere it should end over here. So let's try to adjust this shape like that. Okay, so we have created this part, and let's create one stroke as well, so it would be easy for us to see where it's going. So let's select this and let's choose stroke width to somewhere around 3 pixels like that. Okay, so let's select this and move this over here, hit enter, and let's call it as path. Now go to the contents, shape, path, and create one keyframe at path. Then select this, hit Ctrl C to copy. Let's minimize this. Then select this arrow, press P for position, select this position and hit Ctrl V to paste it. So now if you check it out this, we are gonna get this kind of animation. Then go to the start. By holding Alt, I'm going to bring this up to 3 seconds so it will animate a little bit faster. Okay, or you can bring this up to 3.10 frame as well. Then hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph. By holding shift, move this handle over here and move this handle over here like that. So if you check it out this, we will get something like that. Now after this, it's not rotating properly, so for that I'm going to select this, right click, transform, auto orient, and we will go to the offset along path and hit OK. And then if you see the path is different, so let's go to this path, start, press R for rotation, and let's rotate it like that. So now it will rotate along with this path. So if we check it out this, we are getting something like that. Now along with this stroke should also animate. So let's go over here, add and choose trim path. Go to the trim path and let's make this end value 0. Create one keyframe at end and one keyframe at start. Hit U. Let's go to the end frame. Let's increase the end and start value. And select the start keyframe and move this a little bit forward. Select those keyframe. Hit F9. Go to the graph editor. Select this graph. By holding shift, move this handle over here and move this handle over here. So if we check it out this now, we are getting something like that. Okay, now if you want, you can increase the stroke a little bit like that and try to bring this after this. Okay, like that. Now let's do one thing, select this and increase the stroke like that. Go to the search option and search for cap and choose round cap. Okay, then along with that, go over here in search option. I am going to search for taper like that, and let's increase the start length somewhere around like this. Okay, so what will happen along with this, we will get this as well. Then select this path, hit Ctrl D, and let's try to bring this arrows over here, and with the help of arrow keys I'm adjusting it. And let's decrease the stroke width a little bit. Hit U, select those keyframe and let's try to bring them a little bit forward like that. Okay, so what will happen that we will get two lines. Okay, and when this all is ending, I'm going to select all of this as well as this arrow. First of all, select these two parts, hold Alt close square bracket to trim up to this. Then select this arrow, and this time I'm going to press Ctrl Shift D to split this layer. Okay, and then hit U. And again, I'm going to delete all those keyframes. Similarly, right click, transform, go to the auto orient and choose off and hit OK. Now, before we try to move it, let's go one frame forward and try to bring this over here. And now we need to match with this original rotation. So press R and let's try to rotate it like that. Okay, and then bring this over here and select this and also adjust it up to that. Okay, so what will happen that there is not gonna be a discontinuation. So if you see this animation till now, first we got this, we have created this chip and then this. Now, after this, I want this, first of all, save this. I want this chip should select this and it should break this like that. So for that, I'm going to select this arrow, press P for position to create one keyframe, zoom in. Let's go few frame forward and let's try to bring this over here. Then go somewhere around over here, select the original position, hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Then again, I'm going to select this arrow, press R for rotation to create one keyframe, hit U, go over here and let's rotate it like that. Go over here and in this time, we totally rotate it like this. Then after that, I want this chip should go with this arrow. So let's select this chip, press Ctrl Shift D to split this layer and we will remove this parenting. Then try to bring this over here and this time press Y for pen behind tool and our anchor point should be at the top of this arrow. Then select this chip and make it apparent with this arrow. Select this chip, press R for rotation to create one keyframe. Go to the forward keyframe and we will try to rotate it like that. Then at this point, we will make this value 0 like that. Okay, not completely 0, but somewhere around like this. Okay, then select those keyframe and we will hit F9. Go to the graph editor, zoom in, select this graph by holding shift, move this handle over here, select this, move this handle over here and move this handle over here. So if you check it out this animation now, we will get something like that. Okay, but if you see the animation looks very slow, so let's select all of these keyframes and by holding Alt, try to bring this over here. Okay, so if you check it out this animation till now, we got this and we got this. Now at this point, again we will select this chip and I'm going to press Ctrl Shift D to split this layer. Let's try to bring this at the top. Let's go and choose this value none and I'm going to press Ctrl Shift C to pre-compose and we are going to call it as breaking chip and go to move all attributes into the new composition and we will pick OK. Then we'll go inside this, we'll go to the start and we'll try to bring this chip over here with the help of open square bracket. Then go to the main animation, go to the 4 second and try to bring this at this point with the help of one square bracket. And we are going to select this and we'll go to the effect and presets panel and we are going to search for CC pixel only effect and double click to apply. And we will increase the force value to 600 and select this force center with the help of this picker. I'll bring this force center at the center of this chip and we will get this breaking animation. Okay, so after this, what I want is that our chip's composition should come at the center and it should get blown. But before that, I need this arrow should be gone. So after this explosion, first of all, let's select this chip over here, which is breaking chip. And we will try to adjust the grid spacing up to 20 like that. Also, direction randomness should be 100. So what will happen that there should be some, you know, extra stuff. Then after that, I'll select this and I'll hit Ctrl D again. And this time I'm going to choose grid spacing to 10. Okay. like that. So you'll get this kind of stuff over here, like that. Yeah. Now after this, I want this arrow should be gone. So I'll go somewhere around 4.15 frames and I'll try to bring this arrow over here. Then go to the graph editor, select this graph and let's hit the F9, zoom in and try to adjust this handle somewhere around over here, like this. Okay. And then at this point, I'm going to select this arrow and I'll hold Alt close square bracket to trim up to this. Okay. Now, when these chips are entirely gone, I'll select this breaking chip. I'll hold Alt close square bracket to trim up to this. Okay. So now if you check it out this animation up to this, we are getting this and then we are getting this. Now somewhere around at this point, I'm going to hit Control 0 to open my project window and I'm going to bring my chips composition over here like that. And with the help of open square bracket, I'll try to bring this over here. Then go inside this chips. Now let's make this full resolution like that. Let's select any one of this and let's apply Gaussian blur effect and double click to apply and let's increase the Gaussian blur to 100. Then select this Gaussian blur, hit Ctrl C, select those alternative chips like this and hit Ctrl V to apply, or let's deselect this one. Select this, hit Ctrl V. You are free to choose anyone if you want. I'm going to choose some random chips like that. I'll also select this, but try to add a different variation of that blur to them as well. So it will look a little bit different. Okay, like that. Up to this much looks good to me. Now after this, I'm going to select all of them. I'll go to the effect and presets panel and I'll search for wiggle position effect and double click to apply. And let's choose quarter resolution. So what will happen, we will get those wiggle animation over there. Now press P for position to create one keyframe. Then press R for rotation to create another keyframe. Then press S for scaling option for scaling keyframe. And hit U. Then go somewhere around 20 frames and create one keyframe on each position, scale and rotation. Then go to the start. First of all, make this rotation 1 for each and every one like that. Make sure that all change has been done. Then go to the align tab. We'll need to make sure that we have selected all layers. Then go to the align tab, align horizontally and then align it vertically. Then make the scale of each and every one to 10. So we will get something like that. Then take a gap of few frames up to let's say 1.20. Create one keyframe each. Then go to 20 frame forward. Again go to the align tab, align horizontally and align vertically. Let's make this value 10 again. And let's make this value -1. Okay. So we will get that rotation again. Then I'm going to select all those three frames like that. And let's hit F9. Go to the graph editor. Select this graph. By holding shift, move this handle over here. And select this and move this handle over here. Then select this portion. Again move this handle over here. Select this and move this handle over here. Okay. So if we check it out this, we will get this kind of a blowing animation kind of stuff. Now hit page down button 2 times or 1 time. Hold Alt close square bracket to trim up to this. Right click, keyframe assistance, sequence layers, hit OK. Zoom out and let's increase the duration of it like that. Okay. But if you see, it looks a little bit random. So let's go to the start. Again, bring this over here. Hold Alt close square bracket and we don't need to go page down button and go forward. Simply go to the start and hold Alt close square bracket to trim up to this. Right click, keyframe assistance, sequence layers and hit OK. Okay, and let's increase the duration. So we will get something like that. And we have to make sure I'm going to select this layer which is at the center and it should be on top of that each and every one, and try to bring this over here like that. Okay, over here, and this one should be gone at the end, so try to bring this keyframe at it. Okay, Press F4, select all of them and enable their motion blur like that. Okay, so now if you check it out this, we'll get this kind of a animation. Then go to the main animation, and now if you check it out this, we'll get something like that over here. And then we will hit Control 0, and I'm going to bring my logo image or PNG image over here and try to bring this at the center. Then press F open square bracket to trim up to this. Convert this layer into 3D. Press R for S for spinning option to create one keyframe. Then R for rotation, and I want to rotate it on Y-axis like that. So let's create one keyframe. Hit U. Go to around 1 second to create another keyframe on both. Then go to the start and let's make the scale 10 and rotation to the rotations. Select those keyframe. Let's hit F9. Go to the graph editor. Select this graph by holding shift. Make this handle over here. So we will get something like that. And enable the motion blur as well. Okay, like that. And scale, I'm going to make this proper 0. Then it would be easy for us. And this animation should happen somewhere around at this point. Or let's go and try to move this over here like that. And similarly, somewhere when this is starting, I want to select this mask keyframe. If you select those keyframe, hit Control C, Control V over here, right click, keyframe assistance, time reverse keyframe. So what will happen at this point? This portion is gonna get ended like that. Okay, and let's try to bring this a little bit over here like this. Okay, so now if you check it out, this animation from the start, first we look at this, then we look at this, and then we look at this. Then I'm going to select this chip. I'll hit I to go at the start, press S, and let's make the scale 130 to create one keyframe, and then go somewhere around that last, and let's make this value 100. So what will happen? We'll get that a little bit scaling animation over there as well. Then select this logo and let's try to adjust the scale a little bit lower like that. So if you check it out this, we'll get this animation first and then we'll get this animation like that. Then select this chip, go to the effect and presets panel and search for drop shadow effect and double click to apply. And we are going to choose distance to 100, softness to somewhere, or let's choose opacity to 20 like that, and distance to 350 like this. And let's see how does it look first. Yeah, this looks good to me. Let's increase the softness to 50 like that. Or I think we need to increase the softness to 300. Okay, and we need to increase the distance as well. It should be a little bit more. And I'm going to select this drop shadow. I'll hit Control C, and we need to apply on this chip as well over here. It is at this point. Also, it should be applied for this chip as well. So let's hit Control V over there as well. Okay, like that. Okay, over here. So now all this animation is done up to 8 seconds. Let's say it ends over here like that. Now I want a kind of a 2D look and kind of a vintage look for this. So for that, I'm going to right click new and create one adjustment layer. Go to the effect and presets panel and search for a noise effect and apply this noise and gains, and apply this noise and choose 25% of the noise. So we will get this kind of a noise texture kind of a stuff. And on the same layer, I'm going to search for posterize time effect and double click to apply and choose this to 15 frame. Okay. So now if you check it out, this animation, you will get something like that. And then we will get this kind of a cartoonic look over here. If you want, then you can choose 24 frame per second as well. Then it will give you a more cartoonic look to this like that. It will take a little bit time to load this animation because this frame rate also takes some time to get load, but the final result will look something like that. Okay, like So here we are in Adobe Photoshop. Now I have this Intel logo over here, which you can get easily from Google. Now first thing first, we don't need any white background. So I'm going to press E on my keyboard to select my eraser tool. And I'm going to choose Magic Eraser tool and simply click on this white background to remove this white background. Then click over here as well. Also zoom in and let's click on this portions as well. And let's leave this control 0. So we will get something like that. Now I want each and everything on different layers. So for that, what I'm gonna do, I'm going to select my rectangle tool and I'm going to select this portion first and I'll hit Ctrl X to cut it out. I'll create a new layer and I'm going to press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place. And let's hide this. Then I'm going to select this eye. I'll hit Ctrl X. I'll create a new layer and I'm going to press Ctrl Shift V. And I'll hide this as well. Then I'm going to select this N. Hit Ctrl H to cut it out, create a new layer and press Ctrl Shift V and let's hide this. Then I'm going to select this T, hit Ctrl X, new layer, Ctrl Shift V and hide this. Then I'm going to select this E, hit Ctrl X, create a new layer and press Ctrl Shift V, hide this. Then I'm going to select this portion, hit Ctrl X, create a new layer and press Ctrl Shift V. And now we have each and every alphabet properly on the separated layer. Now we go to the Adobe After Effects. We will create a new composition and we are going to name it as main animation like that. Width I'm going to choose 1920, height should be 180, frame rate should be 30, duration 1 minute long and background color is white color and simply hit OK. Then go to choose grid and guide option and simply hit on title section. Then I'm going to press Ctrl I and I'm going to select my Photoshop file, import as footage, composition, return their sizes, and simply hit import and hit OK. Then bring this, double click to open this logo comp, select all the layers, hit Ctrl C to copy, go to the main animation and hit Ctrl V to paste it. The reason why we are not seeing anything over here, because compositions in composition settings background are in black color. If you hit Ctrl K, and if you go and select this and hit OK, you can easily see that. Okay, so don't get confused. So let's go to the main animation. Now the position is not proper. I want all of them should be properly at the center. So first of all, let's select this and try to bring this over here. And now I need to scale it down. But if I scale it down, it will get scaled out individually. So what I can do, I can right click new and create one null object. I'm going to select all of them by hitting Ctrl A and going to make it a parent with this null one. Then select this null one, press S and try to adjust at appropriate size the way you want. I'm going to pick up with this one and let's delete this. Okay, now after this, let's select all of this and hide it. And this is the one that we are going to animate. So hit Ctrl D. We will use this second layer as a reference. So let's choose this and choose yellow color and we are going to hide this. Then we will select this one and go to the Align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically. Then press P for position to create one keyframe, then R for rotation to create another keyframe. Then hit U, zoom in a little bit, go to around 1.10 frames and let's create keyframe on each and every one. And let's try to bring this totally upward like that. Go to this point and let's make this one rotation. So if we check it out this animation, we will get something like that. Then select those keyframes and we are going to hit F9 to easily those keyframes. Then go to the graph editor, select this graph by holding shift, move this handle over here. So if you check it out this animation, we will get something like that. Then somewhere around at 1 second, I am going to select this layer. I'll press S for scaling option and I'll create one keyframe. I'll go to around 2.10 frames and I'm going to increase this size until it's going to cover my entire portion like that. Then select those keyframes and we are going to hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph, right click and make sure that you are in edit speed graph. Select this, by holding shift, move one handle over here and move one handle over here. So if you check it out this animation now, you will get something like that. And during this, press F4 and enable the motion blur. So now we will get something like that. Then what we can do is now we are going to select all the remaining layers, which are this one, and I'll try to bring them at the top. Okay, so first we will get this animation. Then somewhere around at this point over here, let's move this over here like that. And now we need to try to create animation for all of them. So for that, what I'm gonna do, I'm going to select this my yellow layer color over here, and I'll hit Ctrl D to duplicate. I'll bring this layer at the top, and I'm going to hide this one which is at the bottom because this is our reference. Then select all the logo layers, I mean alphabetical layers, and change their color to a different one like aqua. Not this one, but only alphabetical layers, or you can choose a red color as well, so it would be easy for us to understand. Okay, now somewhere around at this point when this is happening, I'm going to pick up this one which is at the top. I'll go to the effect and presets panel, and I'll search for fill effect to apply. This is going to be in a white color. Okay, I'll tell you the reason why. Then somewhere around at this point, let's select this, and with the help of open square bracket, move this over here. We will press P for position. Let's select this position, right click and choose separate dimension. Okay, like that. Okay, now after that, I'll go somewhere around at 3 seconds. I'll create one keyframe at X and one keyframe at Y. Then go somewhere in over here. Try to bring the Y position over here like that. Then somewhere around at this point, try to bring this X position at this point. Okay, but I forgot to do this. We need to create one keyframe at X over here as well. Then at the start, we need to bring this X position over here. So if you check it out this, we will get something like that. Now what I'm gonna do, let's try to adjust the frames. I'm going to select those keyframe, and I'll hit F9 to ease these out. I'll go to the graph editor. I'll select this graph by holding shift, move one handle over here and move one handle over here. So if you check it out this animation, you will get something like that. Okay, over here. Now what we will do, I'm going to select this, and I'm going to press Ctrl Shift C to pre-compose, and I'm going to call it as white hue. Sorry, and hit OK. So we will get something like that. Now I'm going to select this layer. I'll go to the effect and presets panel, and I'm going to search for effect called echo, and double click to apply. Then I'm going to increase the number up to 80. Then over here, echo time, we have 0.033. We will remove this first 3 and we will type 0 over there. Okay, and now let's make this quad resolution so it's not gonna get heavy. So we'll get something like that. Okay, then somewhere around at this point, I'm going to select the all alphabetical layers. I'll try to bring them over here. Then I'm going to press P for position to create one keyframe. Then T for opacity to create another keyframe, and hit U. Then go few frames forward and create another keyframes on each and every one, as well as opacity. Then go to the star, try to bring this downwards, and let's make this value 0. Then select all of the keyframes, and let's hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph, shift hold and move this handle over here. Select this and move this handle somewhere around over here. So we'll get something like that, and it should be one by one. So I'm going to hit page down button 2 times. I'll try to bring this over here. This should be over here. This should be over here, and this should be over here, and this should be over here. Okay, so it's gonna be one by one. Okay, and this thing should get started somewhere around at this point. Okay, like that. Well, this is going upward. Then after that, what we can do, we will do one thing. I'm going to select this layer, which is this one over here, which is increasing. Then hit U. Then somewhere around at this point, I'm going to press Ctrl Shift D to split this layer. Hit U, and let's remove all of this keyframes. We don't need that. Okay, so as you guys can see, I have splitted this layer, which is this bluish layer. And now, if you guys know that we have created this reference layer over here, let's unlock this. Now I'm going to select this yellow layer. I'll press key for position and create one keyframe. I'm going to copy that keyframe and hit Ctrl C to copy. Then we are going to lock this layer again, as well as we will hide this. Then now we are going to select our split layer, which is this one, and I'll hit Ctrl V to paste it. Okay, like that. So this is automatically over here, and press S and let's increase the scale until it's going to cover the entire portion. So if you check it out, this we are getting this kind of split effect over there, like that. Okay, and this is our layer. Now at this point I'm going to select this layer. I'll create one keyframe over here, hit U, go somewhere around at this point, and let's your scale should be 100 again, or we will make this full and we will check it out what is the scale of this one, which is 64. So hit Ctrl C, hit Ctrl V over there, which is 64. Okay, and we will hide this. So we will get something like that. So we are gonna get this. Then select those keyframe and let's hit F9. Go to the graph editor. I'm going to select this. By holding shift, I'll move one handle over here, and I'm going to move one handle over here. Okay, so now if we check it out, this we'll get this first, and let's make this quad resolution. We'll get this first, and then we'll get this, and then we will get this. Now if you see over here, the animation looks a little bit late, so let's try to bring this somewhere around at this point. Okay, then I'm going to select this white color logo over here at this point. Let's select all of this and press Ctrl Shift C, and we are going to call it as white logo and hit OK, like that. Okay, so if you see, we'll get something like that. Now what I'm gonna do at this point, when I split it out this layer, I'm going to select this white color logo, and I'm going to split out this as well and press Ctrl Shift T. Then I'm going to select this layer over here, which is third one. I'll hit Ctrl D to duplicate. I'll hit enter, and I'm going to call it as mask. And let's try to bring this at the top. Press F4, and we are going to choose alpha mask, like that. Okay, then I'm going to select this white logo. I'll go to the effect and presets panel, and I'll search for fill effect, and I'm going to choose white color for all of them, like that. Okay, so we'll get something like that. And this time I'm going to select this mask. I'll hit U, and over here instead of 64 I'm going to make this value 0 for this mask. So if you check it out, this will get something like that. Now what we need to do over here, at this point I'm going to select this white logo, and I'll select this white logo and hit Ctrl D to bring this at the top, and try to bring this at the bottom of all of them, and we are going to remove this fill effect. Let's delete it. And now if you check it out, this we will get something like that, and remove this alpha mask. Okay, like that. So we have our original logo over here, and let's make this full resolution. So now if you check it out, this animation, we'll get this. It will take a little bit time to load because of the echo effect. It's quite heavy, so we will wait for a while. Like that. And at 6 seconds I am going to hit end. So now if you check it out, this animation, you'll get something like that. Okay, yeah, so this is how you can create this kind of creative logo animation inside of After Effects. So here we are in Adobe Illustrator. Now I got this illustration from freepik.com. I'll provide the link of this illustration in the description. You can simply download it from there and open it in Illustrator. Now over here we don't need this text, so I'm going to select this extra stuff and I'll delete it. Then I'll hit Ctrl A to select all of this, and then I'm going to hit Ctrl C to copy this. Then go to the new document. I have already created a new document over here, and I'm going to press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place. and I'll try to bring this at the center. Then I'm going to click on it. I'll right click and I'll choose release clipping mask. And then we have this background. So hit Ctrl X to cut it out, create the new layer and press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place. And let's bring this downwards. Double click on it and let's for it as PG and hit OK. After that, let's lock this layer, or instead of that, select this and try to bring this over here and try to adjust the scale according to your composition like that. Okay, and then we are going to lock this layer. Now let's select all of this stuff, hit E for transform tool, and by holding shift increase the size of this somewhere up to this one. Okay, like that. Now, after that, let's select this hand and hit Ctrl X, create a new layer and press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place, and let's hide this. Now, we need to increase the size of this hand. So right click and choose ungroup again, and select this, hit E and select this A point and try to bring this somewhere up to this. Then select this point and try to bring this up to this. Okay, I think this much hand is enough for us. Okay, like that. Now we need to divide this hand in separate parts. So let's select this portion first and hit Ctrl X, create a new layer and press Ctrl Shift V, paste in place. And let's call this layers as front fingers. Let's name it properly and let's hide this. Then we have this cup, right click and hit Ctrl X, create a new layer and press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place. And let's double click and let's call it as cup. Okay. Then right click and ungroup, and I don't need this portion, so I'll delete it. Okay. Then after that, we have this hand and this structure, and we are going to form this as hand only like that. Then after that, we will hide them. And now we focus on this portion. So let's select this, right click and choose release clipping mask like that. Okay. And we will delete this background or like that. Then select this, right click again, choose release clipping mask like that. If still there is something, simply right click and right delete it. Okay. Now we have these leaves and this extra structures. Now go inside this arrow and let's see. Sorry. Now let's see which one is you know uh, properly grouped. So for example, this stars over here are properly grouped. So let's select this layer one. Click on this click to target. Go to the this options and choose release to layer sequences. And select all the layers and try to bring this at the top and delete this extra layer. Then I want this star should be on the separated layer. So let's hide this one by one and try to focus on each and layer one by one. So first this thing, let's select this, go inside this group, select this portion and again follow the same procedure and try to bring them at the top. And let's delete this extra layers. Then enable this layers. Now these are the coffee beans. I'm going to click on it, go inside this, select this coffee beans and release to layer sequence. Try to bring this at the top and let's delete this. Then we have this leaf which is already on separated layer. Then we have this beans. And now what I want is that those beans, I'll hit Ctrl X. I'll create this, I click on this leaf. I'll press Ctrl Shift V because I want this one should be on the same layer. Okay. Then I'll delete this extra layer. Then release this portions over here. Go inside this group path. And over here, one thing we need to do is that I want this one, right click and choose ungroup. And this one should be parent with this one. So what I'm going to do, let's click on this click target, go over here, release to layers sequence. Again, select all of this by holding shift and try to bring this at the top. And let's delete this extra there. Now I'm going to select this and this and I hit Ctrl G. So they will automatically come into one layer. Similarly, I'm going to select this and hit Ctrl G. through, they will come at the same layer. Okay, like that. And then you need to delete all the extra layers which has nothing on their layer. So let's delete them. Okay, like that. Then after that, the remaining one is this one. For this one as well, we need to follow the same procedure. Go inside this, click to target, remove to layer sequence, select all of them and try to bring them at the top, and let's delete that. Okay, like that. And last one, we have the small, almost transparent leaves. Go to the group, go to the this options, go to the release layers to sequence by holding shift, bring them at the top, and let's delete this. So now for this one, our each and every layer that we needed are properly on separated layer. But if you see over here, there is one problem. Let's hide all of this and try to focus on this file. In this hand over here, we see when this comes at the top, our hand looks weird. So to solve that, what we can do, I need to select this hand and this hand over here, this much portion over here. Let's select this and right click and choose ungroup, and I'll select this and let's delete this portion and select this hand, and I'll hit Ctrl X to cut it out, create a new layer and press Ctrl Shift V, and let's call it as hand. Okay, and let's enable all of these layers, and we will select this layer over here, which is this one, and we will try to bring them at the top. So now our hand is gonna look like that. Okay, so this is the first illustration that we have needed, which is almost ready. Okay, so along with that, I have this another illustration of this coffee bean as well. Okay, I have provided the link of this illustration as well in the description. You can download it from there. Let's select this coffee bean, hit Ctrl C, go to the untitled one, and let's go and create one thing and one clear layer on the top, and hit Ctrl V over there. Hit E for transform tool, and by holding shift, try to bring this at the center and hit Ctrl 0, and let's save this file. Okay, now after that, we'll go to the Photoshop, and I have this Nescafe logo over here. If you want to choose another coffee brand, that is also fine. Okay, I'm going to select my rectangle tool and I'll select this portion. I'll hit Ctrl X, create a new layer and press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place, and let's hide this. And same thing we are going to follow for this portion as well. Hit Ctrl X, new layer, press Ctrl Shift V and hide this. Same thing we will do for this E. Select this layer, Ctrl X, new layer, Ctrl Shift V to paste in place, and let's hide this. Then we will select this F, hit Ctrl X, new layer, Ctrl Shift V and hide this. Then we will select this A, hit Ctrl X, new layer, Ctrl Shift V and let's hide this. We will select this C, hit Ctrl X, new layer, Ctrl Shift V and let's hide this. We will select this S, hit Ctrl X, new layer, Ctrl Shift V and hide this. Then we will select this E, hit Ctrl X, new layer, Ctrl Shift V and let's hide this. Then we are going to select this N. Now over here in this N, there is some weird stuff. So select this much portion only, like that. Hit Ctrl X, new layer and press Ctrl Shift V. And we have this N and this line on separated layer. So all of this stuff is now on different layer, and we'll save this file. Now our entire portion to animate is ready, as well as our logo is ready. So let's go to the Adobe After Effects and let's create a new composition, and we are going to call it as main animation. Width is 1920, height is 180, frame rate is 30, duration is 30, and background color I am going to choose white color and simply hit OK and hit OK. Then go to choose grid and guide option and simply hit on title selection. Then I'm going to press Ctrl I and I'm going to select my logo layer, import as. I am going to choose composition, return layers and sizes and simply hit import. Then double click to open this. Then we have this bean over here. I'll hit Ctrl X to cut it out. I'll go to the main animation and I'll hit Ctrl V. Then I'm going to press S to for scaling option and I'll try to scale this down. and hit W and try to rotate it and try to bring this over here. Then hit Control D over here and let's try to bring this over here. I'll press W and I'll try to rotate it like that. Okay, and let's move this over here. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'll try to bring them closer like that over here. Then after that, I'll right click new and I'll create one null object. Then I'm going to select all both of these layers and let's make it apparent with this null. Then select both of these layers and press P for position to create one keyframe. Then go somewhere around 20 frame to create another keyframe and go to the start and let's select this layer and try to move this over here. Then select this layer and try to move this over here. Then select those keyframes and hit F9. Go to the graph editor, right click and make sure that you are in edit speed graph. Select this graph by holding shift, move this handle over here. So you will get something like that. Then somewhere around at this point, I'm going to select this null object. I'll press R for rotation to create one keyframe. I'll go somewhere around 10 frame forwards and I'm going to make it 180-degree rotation. Again, select those keyframe and hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph by holding shift, move one handle at this point and one handle at this point. So if we check it out this now, you will get this kind of stuff. Now let's select those keyframe and I'm going to bring this somewhere around up to 10 frames. So what I'm going to get something like that. So by holding Alt, try to reduce the size of this layer, keyframe. Then at this point, somewhere over here, let's select both of this keyframe and create one keyframe at position. Go somewhere around at this point. Let's select this by holding shift, move this handle over here. Select this by holding shift, move this handle over here. Then go few frame forward. Select this keyframe, hit Control C, hit Control C, Control V and Control C, Control V. Then go few frame forward and now it should be gone out of this composition and this one should be gone out of this composition. Okay, so we will get something like that. Now let's select those keyframes and hit F9 and go to the graph editor. Now I want it should go back a little bit faster. So select this and shift hold, move this handle at this point and this handle at this point. Then select this and by holding shift, move this handle at this point and move this handle at this point. Okay, like that. Then select this and by holding shift, move this over here and move this over here like that. Okay, so if you check it out this animation now, first we will get this and then we will get this. Then select this portion. Let's move this handle over here and move this handle over here like that. Okay, so it will be faster like that. Okay, now along with that there should be some rotation as well. So press R for rotation to create one keyframe. Hit U, go at this point to create another keyframe and go at the start and try to rotate it like that and try to rotate it like that. Okay, then select those rotation frames and hit F9. Go to the graph, select this, shift hold and move this handle over here like that. Okay, then somewhere around at this point, create one keyframe at rotation. Go over here and let's select this, hit W and try to rotate like that. Select this and try to rotate it like that. Select those rotation keyframes by holding shift and hit F9. Okay, like that. So if you check it out this, we'll get something like that. Then we will try to bring our untitled one layer, which is this one, and try to bring this over here. And with the help of open square bracket, bring this at this point. Then go inside this, select all of these layers and click on this icon. And now let's go and choose ellipse and I don't want any fill. So let's create this fill and by holding shift, I'll create one ellipse and select this ellipse and go to the fill option. And we are going to pick up this color and hit OK. Okay, and then we will delete this background layer. We don't need that. and select this ellipse and click on this icon so we can focus on this one only. Select this and press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. Go to the Align tab, align it horizontally and align it vertically. Press S for scaling option. Initially it should be 0. Create one keyframe. Then somewhere around at 1 second I'm going to increase the size of this. Then select those keyframe and hit F9. Then go to the graph editor, select this graph by holding shift, move this handle over here, move this handle over here. So you will get this bar cancel over here. So if we check it out this at this point, first we got this animation and then we got this animation. Then go inside this and let's disable this layer and try to bring this at the bottom because this is going to be our background layer. Okay, so let's select the shape layer and try to bring this properly at the bottom. Hit enter and let's call it as BG. Okay, and let's lock this layer. Now let's select this hand, front fingers, cup and hand and press Ctrl Shift C and we are going to call it as hand and hit OK. Click on this icon and let's lock this layer. And now what I'm gonna do, I'll select these sparkles which are this white color dots. Okay, select all of them like this, not this and this. Press Ctrl Shift C and I'm going to call it as white sparkles and hit OK and click on this icon and let's hide this and lock this layer. Then we have this coffee beans over here. This, press Ctrl Shift C and let's call it as coffee beans and let's lock this layer and hide. Then we have this transparent images of this leaf. So press Ctrl Shift C and let's call it as leaves transparent. And let's lock this layers as well. Then we have this portion and press Ctrl Shift C and we are going to call it as leaf only. Then lock this layer as well. Now we will try to animate each and every one by one. So let's go focus on this one. So first thing first, let's go inside this, select all of them, press not all of them but this one only and press Y and try to bring this anchor point at the bottom. Same for this one, try to bring this anchor point at the tip of this leaf over here like that. Then select any one of them and press R for rotation and hit W. So for rotation tool and let's rotate it like that and create one keyframe. Go few frame forward, try to rotate it like this. Again rotate it over here. Again rotate it like that. Again. And that after some time simply copy first keyframe. So hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Select those rotation keyframes and hit F9. Then Alt click on this stopwatch and let's apply lookout expression on it. And let's copy that expression. So hit Ctrl C. Or instead of that, copy those keyframes. Don't copy the expression. Select this keyframe and hit Ctrl C. Select all of these layers and hit Ctrl V to paste it. So we will get the leaf animation for all of them. Then I'm going to select all of this and I'll press S for scaling option to create one keyframe. Go to 20 or 1 second to create another keyframe. Go to the start and let's make the scale 0. Select those keyframe and let's hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this and by holding shift move this, select this and move this over here. Okay, take a gap of 10 frames and try to adjust them one by one. Okay, like that. Now after that, hit R for rotation, copy the rotation keyframe, then go inside the leaf. Let's enable this leaf. And now press Ctrl K to open the project settings and choose white color over here. Select this and press Y and try to bring this anchor point at the bottom, and let's hide this one by one like that. Hide this, hide this. Basically, we are adjusting anchor points and then we will try to hide this layer. So it would be easy for us to select that another layer. Okay, so by doing this procedure, there is not going to be the confusion. Otherwise, during this process, there are chances that you'll try to touch another layer as well. Okay, so now each and anchor point is adjusted properly. So first of all, go to the leaf transparent, copy this rotation keyframe and hit Ctrl C to copy. Select all the layers and hit Ctrl V to paste it. Then press S, select the scaling not expression but keyframes. Hit Ctrl C, go to the leaf, select all the layers and hit Ctrl V to paste it and hit U. So if we check it out this now, we will get something like that. Now let's go and take a gap of 10 frames, hold Alt, close square bracket, right click, keyframe assistance, sequence layers, hit OK. And let's increase the duration. So now we will get this one by one like that. But if you see over here, it looks a little bit slow. So let's take a gap of 5 frames only. Select all of them with the help of open square bracket. Try to bring them at the start. Go to the 5 frames, Alt, close square bracket, right click, keyframe assistance, sequence layers, hit OK. Like that. So it will be a little bit faster. So this leaf is also done. Then we have this coffee beans. For this one over here, let's go inside this coffee bean. Select all of this and hit Ctrl V to apply those scaling animations that we have copied here. And same procedure, take a gap of few frames, hold Alt, right click, keyframe assistance, sequence layers, hit OK, and then increase the duration like that. Then go to the effect and presets panel and search for wiggle position effect and double click to apply. Then you'll go to this and hide this. Then go to the white sparkles, which are this one. I'm going to select all of them and I don't want to apply scaling keyframes, but because we have applied in all of them, so let's apply on this them as well. Hit Control V, apply double wiggle position expression, take a gap of 5 frames, Alt close square bracket, right click, keyframe assistance, sequence layers, hit OK, and let's increase the duration. Okay, like that. So if you enable all of these layers now, we are gonna get this kind of stuff. Now the only thing remaining is hand, and we are going to animate this hand over here as we. Then right click, new, and create one null object. Press Ctrl Alt Home to bring this anchor point at the center. Press S for scale option and try to increase the size. Then select all of these layers and make it apparent with this null object. Okay. Then select this hand and this front fingers first. Press Y for pen behind tool and try to bring this anchor point at this corner. So after that, if you hit W, we can move this hand like that. So let's go to the star. Press R for rotation to create one keyframe. Let's rotate it somewhere around like that. Over here, like this. Create one keyframe. Go few frame forward and try to bring this a little bit downward. Go few frame forward. Hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V first keyframe. Select those keyframe. Hit F9. Alt click on the stopwatch and let's apply loop out expression on it. Like that. Okay. So if you check it out this, we will get this white animation. Then select this null object, press S and try to adjust the scale and try to bring this over here like that. Then select this null object and press V for position to create one keyframe. Go few frame forward where around 1.10 frame to create another keyframe. Go to the start and try to bring this downwards. Then select those keyframe and hit F9. Go to the graph, select this and by holding shift move this handle over here like that. Okay. Then somewhere around at this point, let's select this cup and let's remove this parenting and go somewhere around 1 or 20 frames and move this over here. Press P for position to create one keyframe. Let's try to bring this and keyframe up to 1 second. So if you see, we will get this, and now this cup should fall from the top. So let's go at the start and press Y for pen behind tool and try to bring this anchor point at the bottom. Let's select this and create one keyframe at position. Go few frame forward to create one keyframe. Again go few frame forward to create another keyframe. Then in somewhere around the middle, try to bring this a little bit up. Then go at the start and press V and try to bring this at the top. Then select those position keyframe and hit F5. Go to the graph editor, select this graph by holding shift, move this handle over here like that, zoom in and move this handle over here. Then select this by holding shift, adjust this anchor points like that. So it will create a illusion like it's bouncing like this. So if you check it out this now, first we got this. Then let's move this a little bit over here and also try to bring those keyframe a little bit closer. So it will be upon a little bit faster like that. Now along with that, press Alt for rotation and let's rotate it on 10 degree to create one keyframe. Hit U, go over here and let's make this -10. Go few frame forward and let's make this 5. And at this point, let's make this -5 and go few frame forward. Let's make this 0. Then bring this keyframe a little bit over here. So if you check it out this, we are getting something like that. Then select those keyframe and hit F9 and try to bring this a little bit over here. Let's check it out whether this looks good or not. Yeah. Okay. Then after this, when this is falling, there should be some animation that should look like it's sparkling from this. So for that, first of all, hit Ctrl K and let's change the color of this to somewhere around white color and hit OK like that. Then after that, I'm going to select my ellipse tool and go to the fill option and we are going to pick up this color and hit OK. And by holding shift, create one ellipse, select this and press Ctrl Alt O, press V and try to bring this over here and let's make this fit. Let's select this and press P for position. With the help of open square bracket, move this over here. Select this position, right click and choose separate dimension. Create one keyframe at X and one keyframe at Y. Go few frame forward, select this and try to bring this over here and try to bring this position downward and let's bring this over here. And in middle of that, try to bring the Y position somewhere up to this. Select those Y position and hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph by holding shift, move this handle over here and this handle over here. This handle over here, select this and move this handle over here like that. Okay, so if you check it out this, we are getting something like that, but this looks very slow. So let's select those keyframes and by holding Alt, let's try to bring this up to this. So it will be a little bit faster. Now press S to create one keyframe, hit U and let's go and change the scaling to 0. Okay, like that. Okay, then after that select this and hit Ctrl D, hit U and let's change the X position over here and this position over here like that. Okay, and try to bring this a little bit over here. Okay, then select those both layers and hit Ctrl D and try to bring this at the over here. Hit U and try to bring this somewhere around over here and try to bring this downwards. Also select this and try to bring this over here and try to bring this downwards. Okay, so if you see, we are getting something like that. Okay, it looks like a spilling. Then I'm going to right click new and create one none object. I'll bring this at the top I'll select all the 4 layers and I'll hit Control D. I'll try to bring them at the top and I'll make it apparent with this null. Then select this null, press S, unlink this, and let's make this -100. Okay, like that. So it will be a flip. Then select this and select this as well and try to make it apparent with this null. Select this null and all we need to do, this things, press P and try to make it at the center. And let's delete this null object tab. Okay, so we'll get something like that. Now after that, I'm going to press G, and from here to here, I'm going to create one pack-like structure like that, and move this over here, and let's remove this fill. I don't need this, and go to the stroke, and with the help of this picker, I'll pick up this color and try to adjust this lines somewhere around like that, and this somewhere around like this. Okay, then select this and go inside this add trim path. Go to the trim path and let's make this end value 0 to create one keyframe, and start value create another keyframe. Go few frame forward and make this 100. Select the start keyframe and try to bring them a little bit over here. So we'll get something like this structure. Okay, try to bring this as the over here. Okay, and let's try to adjust it like that, and try to adjust it like that. Then select this, hit Control D again, and hit U, and try to adjust it over here, and try to adjust this over here like that. Okay. Then again, same procedure. I'll right click and I'll create one null object. I'll select these 2 layers, hit Control D, bring them at the top and make it apparent with this null. Select this null, press S, unlink this, and let's make this -100 like that. And press V for position and try to bring this properly at the center like that. Then see, we have the strokes. Select the strokes and try to increase the stroke width a little bit. Also in search options, search for cap and let's choose round cap for this one as well, and for this one. Then again in search options, search for taper and go inside the taper options, and let's increase the start length like that. Also over here, go to the taper and increase the start length like this. Okay, so you get something like that over here. Okay, like this. Now let's delete this null object, and I'm going to select this portions, and it should come when this is falling like that, and press V and try to bring this somewhere out at this point. Okay, like that. Then go over here, and now if you see, we have all of this one by one. Now right click new and create one null object again. Instead of hand, I'm going to select all of this and I'll make it apparent with this nulls. Select this and press S for scaling option, and let's increase the scale and try to adjust this properly behind the hand like that. Okay, like that. Then select this null object and press P for position to create one keyframe. Go few frames forward and try to bring this downwards like that. Okay, and then at this point I'll select this hand and I'll make it apparent with this null object as well. Then select those null object and hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph by holding shift, move this hand over here like that. Okay, So if you check it out this, we will get this, and then we will get this. Now at this point, I'll hit Control I, and I'm going to bring my Photoshop layer, go to the footage, composition, return layer sizes, and change the rating port and hit OK. Then go inside this, select all of this and hit Control C, go over here and hit Control V. Then right click, new and create one null object. Select all of the layers and make it apparent with this null. Select this null, press S and let's decrease the scale. Press P for position and try to adjust this position properly at the center like that. And let's delete this null object. Then select all of these layers and try to bring this over here. Then somewhere around at this point over here, go over here and press P. Select all of these positions by holding Shift. Right click into separate dimension. Create one keyframe at X and one keyframe at Y. Go few frame forward to create another keyframe at X and Y. Again go few frame forward, create one keyframe. Try to bring them closer. Then in between this middle, simply select all of those layers by holding Shift and try to bring this over here. Okay, like that. Go over here and let's do one thing. We will select this little portion which is simple line. I don't want any keyframes over there, so I'll delete this and I'll lock this layer. I want keyframes only for them. Then somewhere around at the start or somewhere around over here, I'm going to select all of this and I'll change the Y position somewhere around over here like that. Then somewhere around at this point, go to the Align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically. And let's change this X position somewhere around over here. Now in search options, search for Y only, so it will show us Y position keyframe. Select those keyframe and let's hit F9. Go to the graph editor, zoom in. Select this graph by holding Shift, move this handle over here and move this handle over here. Select this and move this handle over here. Select this and move this handle over here. Then zoom in over here. Select this portions. Shift, move this handle at this point, this handle at this point. Select this, move this handle at this point. Select this and move this handle at this point. Okay, like that. Now let's go to the start. I'll press R4 rotation to create one keyframe. Hit U. Go over here and let's make this one rotation like that. Okay. And now all of this should be one by one. So let's select this layer or let's select this end first. Hit page down button one time. Let's move this over here. And one by one, I'm going to try to adjust it like that over here. So we will get something like that. Okay. Like this. Then when this is happening, I'll select this line which is over here. With the help of open square bracket, I'll move this over here. Press Y for pen line tool and try to adjust it over here. Then press S, unlink this, create one keyframe, go few frame forward, create another keyframe, and at the start, let's make this value 0. Then select those keyframe, hit F9, go to the graph, select this graph, hold Shift, and move this handle over here. Okay, and let's make this fit. So as you guys can see, we will get something like that. And all of this, select them and enable the motion blur and try to bring them behind all of this. Okay, so after this, we will get this. Now if I see this animation from the start, first I'll get this, and then this, and then this. Then select all of them, enable the motion blur, go inside this, select all of this, for example these hands as well, enable their motion blurs in each and every composition. I'm going to enable the motion blur like that. Now all of this hand over here are being parent with this null object. So press P for this position keyframes and right click new and create one another null object. I'm going to select this null object and I'll make it a parent with this another one. Select this null, press enter and let's call it as wiggle and press P for position. Right click on the stopwatch and let's apply wiggle expression on them and let's find 3,3 like that. So what will happen along with this animation, there is going to be a little bit shaky look towards our animation over here like that. So as you guys can see, this is how we can create this kind of logo reveal animation in Adobe After Effects. Now let's go to the start, press S and initially scale should be 120 to create one keyframe, and at the end I'm going to make the scale 100. Okay, like that. So it will be a little bit faster like that. Now after this, if you want to give this animation a 2D look, simply let's make this full. Right click new and create one adjustment layer. Go to the effect and presets panel and search for a posterized time effect and double click to apply, and you can make this 15. So what will happen, the look of this animation is going to be something like 2D animation. Then I can give some grainy texture, for example noise. So I'm going to choose noise and choose value 25. Okay, so we'll get something like that. So it will give sort of retro vibe to the animation. Also over this point I'll press Ctrl Y and I'll try to pick up this coffee color, but I'll choose a little bit less version of this and I'll try to bring this downwards like that. Okay, so what will happen, that we'll get this greeny structure over here like that. Okay, now after that what you can do, you can select all of these layers except this adjustment layer and press Ctrl Shift C to pre-compose, and I'm going to call it as animation over here like that, and hit OK and hit Ctrl D to duplicate it. Go to the effect and presets panel and search for find edge effect and double click to apply, and if you invert this you will get something like that. So let's invert this and press F4 and let's try to apply a screen over here, and let's love this, and if you invert it you will get something like that. So by hiding screen you will get, if you add multiply and if you choose overlays you will get different results. I'll add screen over here, and if you add screen, as you guys can see, you'll get different version of this animation as well. Okay, like that. So it's totally up to you what kind of version you want. Okay, if you are with this you can go with this as well. With the help of arrow keys, if you move it a little bit like that, you'll get this kind of structure over here like that. Okay, so I'm gonna go with this look. If you want, you can play around with different stuff as well like that. Okay, so this is how you can create this kind of logo reveal and